You are standing in the new Victoria Theater on bustling 125th Street, the cultural and entertainment center of Harlem. The gleaming facade and restored lobby, with its ornate plaster ceilings, evoke the historic theater built on this site in 1917. Just outside, you can find the rebuilt Blade sign, marquee, and ticket booth, back where they once were, but updated to contemporary standards. The theater's interior was partly demolished in 2017 to make way for a new residential tower, and only the lobby and exterior facade remain from the original building. After all, New York City is ever-changing, but if you only look around, a fascinating story and a journey into the past awaits. It is October 5th, 1917, opening night at the newest theater designed by notable architect Thomas Lamb and built by powerful movie chain Loews Incorporated. Broadway actress and Manhattan native Elsie Ferguson, a favorite among New York City theatergoers, is the guest of honor. The newly opened Victoria Theater is just the latest to join other entertainment venues, including the Harlem Opera House, the Alhambra, and of course the Apollo, to make up Harlem's famed Opera Row. You enter from 125th Street beneath the bright lights of the marquee, strolling through the elegant stained glass doors and into the long lobby past fluted columns and sparkling mirrors. You take your seat under the vast decorated dome of the auditorium, marveling as the almost 3,000 seats fill up with theatergoers. You admire the towering columns, stately box seating, and immense murals with mythical figures painted by the French artist Arthur Brunet. The colors are vibrant, warm, mysterious. The decorative plasterwork made by the Architectural Plastering Company is some of the most ornate their craftsmen have ever produced, with molded friezes, garlands, and scrollwork. This is the Renaissance Revival style inspired by 18th century Adamesque design and brought to life in the 20th century movie palace known as the Victoria Theater. The Victoria Theater was built during a period of great metamorphosis for Harlem. Between 1910 and the end of 1940, nearly 1.5 million African Americans fled Jim Crow persecution in the South for work in northern cities, including New York. These new residents made Harlem one of the most prominent African American neighborhoods in the country, spurring the cultural movement later known as the Harlem Renaissance. As Harlem changed, the entertainment industry was changing too. By 1927, with the popularity of talkie films, the Victoria Theater became a full-time movie house. At the time, 125th Street rivaled Times Square as an entertainment destination, screening film classics such as The Broadway Melody of 1938, Bonnie and Clyde, and Psycho. The theater was also a popular spot for local beauty pageants, amateur talent nights, and youth athletic awards. In 1952, Loews installed a massive $50,000 closed-circuit TV system in the theater. The giant screen was a popular draw for sports fans. 3,500 people from all parts of the city crowded in to watch the fight for the heavyweight boxing title between Jersey Joe Walcott and Rocky Marciano. The civil rights movement defined Harlem through the 1960s. Long-standing social inequality and tension peaked in 1964 when white police officer Lieutenant Thomas Gilligan shot and killed black teenager James Powell on the Upper East Side. Protests in Harlem began on 125th Street near the Victoria Theater, and the police responded with force. Riots broke out. One person was killed. 118 were injured. 465 were arrested, and hundreds of businesses were ransacked. The Victoria Theater remained open through the mid-1970s, but citywide economic difficulties and disinvestment felt especially in black and brown neighborhoods like Harlem, eventually forced the theater to close in 1977. Several attempts to keep up with changing times failed until 1992, when the theater was refurbished and reopened under the name Victoria 5. The Victoria 5 focused on showing films by black filmmakers, as well as live theater, before closing its doors for good in 1997. The theater sat abandoned for a decade. The Victoria Theater redevelopment project began in 2006 with a mission to restore the facade and lobby of the theater while providing a contemporary hotel, shops, and apartments. The new building will bring live performance back to the Victoria Theater with exciting new art spaces managed by the Apollo to celebrate, support, and grow Harlem's cultural legacy. A critical part of the redevelopment was the restoration of the 125th Street facade and lobby, which took years of careful planning and execution. The white glazed terracotta facade with ionic pilasters and decorative frieze, cornice, and balustrade was carefully restored to its 1917 appearance. In the Victoria's historic lobby, workers painstakingly repaired the ornate plaster ornament and hand-painted it to match the original color scheme. The arched mirrors, stone floors, and lighting were replicated in their original designs. Today, the Grand Victoria Blade sign once again flashes its lights over 125th Street, welcoming hotel guests, residents, art patrons, tourists, and New Yorkers alike to the new center of Harlem.